Hello dear friends, myself Dr. B.L. Kumawat, and once again I welcome you all on my YouTube channel, which was really made and meant for helping my veterinary students during the hardship caused by COVID-19 pandemic. So today we'll continue our discussion on the topic that was implantation, placentation and conceptus development. So this is the second part of my lecture on conceptus development, wherein today we will mainly focus on development of extra embryonic membranes. In our last lecture, we have seen some of the initial stages of development, right from the fertilization, where the single cellular zygote is rendered into the multicellular morula through the cleavage divisions, and this solid ball-like structure morula is converted into a hollowed structure that was called as blastocyst, and ultimately this blastocyst is hatched out of this hard shell of Zona pellucida, and once it is held out into the uterus, it becomes a free floating structure, and the next event is the implantation. But before implantation, there is a need for development of extra embryonic membranes for implantation with the uterine endometrium. So here in this slide, you can see the various stages where there is development of extra embryonic membranes occur, and we will see each and every stage in detail. So let us start. First of all, once this blastocyst is hatched out of Zona pellucida, it is mainly containing the inner cell mass, the trophoblast, and a cavity which is called as blastocoele. So this inner cell mass is differentiated into three kind of cell populations. Here you can see in this image, on the top, the purple colored cell population is called as embryopropa, whereas the lowermost layer of cell, which is indicated in blue color, it is called as primitive endoderm. In between the primitive endoderm and embryopropa, there is the third layer, which is indicated with a red line, and it is called as mesoderm. Now this primitive endoderm begins to grow downward, and it forms a lining on the inner surface of trophoblast, and this is how it forms a sac-like structure. When the growth of primitive endoderm is completed, it forms a cavity or a sac which is named as yolk sac. Although this cavity does not contain any type of yolk, but still it is named yolk sac because it is analogous to the yolk sac of birds. Simultaneously, the middle layer of mesoderm, suppose this is a mesoderm layer, and it will start to split into two cell layers. At this stage, the trophoblast is now termed as trophoectoderm. In the next stage, here you can see the yolk sac which peers into the mesodermal layers, and it connects with the embryo at a point of future umbilicus. On the other hand, these mesodermal layers, they keep on growing and forming pouches which surround the yolk sac and pushes against the trophoectoderm. And this is how these mesodermal pouches forms wing-like structures, and these are termed as amniotic folds. Further, there is emergence of the second embryonic sac, and which is shown as a black diverticulum which originates from the primitive gut. and this is meant for collection of embryonic waste, mainly urine. In the further stage, there are three events. First is this mesoderm. It completely surrounds the yolk sac as well as the developing allantois. And the second event is that amniotic folds continue to grow towards each other and they are covering the embryo. And the third event is that this mesoderm fuses with the trophoectoderm, and now these both bilayers, fused bilayers, are termed as chorion. In the next stage, the yolk sac has involuted in the size, it has been regressed in the size, whereas the allantoic pouch keeps on growing and expanding. On the other hand, these amniotic folds, they have almost covered the embryo and about to fuse together. And finally, they fuse together and forming two separate sacs. So you can very well appreciate how these double cavities are formed around the embryo from the previous stage. Right from here, after fusion, there is formation of double cavities or double sac around the embryo, and the inner cavity is containing the embryo proper and it is termed as amniotic cavity, whereas the outer cavity is called as chorionic sac. Now you can see the membranes of both the cavities, chorionic as well as amniotic cavity, they are made up of mesoderm and trophoectoderm. Here also mesoderm and trophoectoderm. On the other hand, you can see the allantoic membrane is also fused with the chorionic membrane, and now it is termed as allantochorion, whereas the yolk sac is completely regressed in size. After some time, this yolk sac will be completely disappeared, whereas the allantois will expand hugely and it will cover all the chorionic space and forming allantochorion with the fusion of chorionic membrane and allantoic membrane. So there will be no existence of separate chorionic cavity and allantoic cavity. It will be formed as allantochorionic cavity. Only there are two cavities, that is allantochorion and amniotic cavity. So here you can see the bovine conceptus at around day 40 to 45 of gestation, which is containing the embryo proper, this greyish color structure which is contained inside the amniotic cavity, and the another cavity, outer cavity, that is the allantoic cavity. And all these structures, amniotic cavity, allantoic cavity, fetal fluids and the fetus, cumulatively called as conceptors. Although amniotic cavity and allantoic cavity, they are not clearly visible separately. So when methylene blue dye is injected in outer cavity, outer sac, you can see the clear-cut differentiation. The blue discoloration of the allantoic fluid, whereas the amniotic fluid remain uncolored, unstained, and now you can easily differentiate both the cavities. So this is the bovine conceptus at around 100 days of gestation, and in the third image you can see the bovine conceptus at a more advanced stage, that is 115 days of gestation, and in this image you can see some button-like structures over the allantochorion, which are called as fetal cotyledons, and they will make close contact, or they will fuse with the maternal endometrium, particularly the caruncles, making the placentomes. And this happens after implantation. So, what is placentation and implantation? These are two closely related terms. The implantation means apposition or fusion of the fetal membranes to the maternal endometrium. The similar term is placentation. Placentation word is originated from word placenta, and it is defined as physiological exchange between fetus and mother through the formation of placenta. Now, what is placenta? Placenta is a transient organ of pregnancy. Since it is temporary organ, it remains in the female's body only during gestation. Once the gestation is over, placenta is expelled out. So, the transient organ of pregnancy that provides an interface for physiological exchange between conceptus and dam, and the functional unit of placenta is chorionic villus. Based on the distribution pattern of these chorionic villi, the placenta is categorized in various types among different species. There are some other criteria of classification of placenta among domestic animals. So we will talk about the types of placenta in different species in our next lecture. So this is all for today. Thank you very much.